Brilliance Audio.
Women Like Us by Amanda Prowse. Performed by the author. I made my debut a little over half a century ago in the East End Maternity Hospital, formerly the Mother's Lying-In Home on the Commercial Road, Stepney, London. The same hospital where my nan and great-nan had also been born. Never one for convention. I arrived hand and arm first, followed by my head and shoulders, much to the detriment of my mother's nether regions and to the challenge of the midwife who insisted she keep pushing. I know. I'm clenching and wincing too. My poor mum, fresh out of her teens and without access to the wealth of material that the internet provides, thought it must be normal. It still amazes and perplexes me that she went on to have 3 more babies who she admits were, by comparison, a cinch to deliver. No shit, Annie. My nan, apparently, on hearing of my rather unorthodox entrance, offered this sage sentiment. Maybe she's going to be a diver. Maybe we should get her a bloody swimming pool. Very funny, considering they'd only recently acquired an inside loo. Eschewing that diving career, I made my debut as a ballerina. You may laugh. I was 5 years old and have a picture. All of us little girls of a similar age lined up on a stage. I'm sturdier than the rest, and not fat, but certainly solidly built, not petite or diminutive like my contemporaries. Mine was a busy and physically active childhood, careering around the playground, playing stringers, lava, and other games that involved a lot of running and jumping. And then when I got home, I would play in the street, usually stick in the mud, space hopper racing, or trying not to smash out my newly hatched front teeth with the handle of the pogo stick. The only time I would sit very still was when my clicky hips made me feel uncomfortable, and it felt easier to remain immobile. I complained of the various aches and pains that were put down to collateral damage, done during my rather unorthodox birth. Too young to fully explain just how I was in discomfort, I understood the rather loose explanation that my hips were clicky and accepted the offered remedy of some sweets, a cuddle, and a few kind words of reassurance. My ballet debut was, however, a defining moment for me. My lack of coordination meant while everyone adopted one pose, I did quite another, before clomping around the stage elephant style. I heard the titters of the assembled crowd and it bothered me, already looking around at the other tiny girls and comparing my heavy-handed self to them. No one was laughing at them. It didn't feel good. My family are all pretty much tall and slim. My dad and brothers stand around the 6'2" mark, and my beautiful mum, a former Mary Quant model no less, is a slender 5'8". I am 5'4" and was always, in comparison to everyone else, a bit of a munchkin. Throughout my life, my family have ribbed me about my height and my general lack of grace. It's funny, I guess, and I know the comments are made good-naturedly, wrapped in love, but I also know that the belief stuck. It was the start of the erosion of confidence in my physical self. The idea formed in my head that I was big, clumsy, a bit of a wrecking ball, and my lack of refinement went hand in hand with the image of myself as oversized and awkward. This was my family, large, loving, and with tongues laced with acerbic humour. Anyone who had so much as a toe in the 1970s would have heard the nursery rhyme at the beginning of this chapter, from the mouths of parents and grandparents, seen it printed in our bedtime storybooks, or even, as was the case for me, on a poster in the library corner of our school classroom. It was nearly always accompanied by the picture of a little girl in a vaguely Victorian guise, wearing tones of pink, satin slippers, often a fancy bonnet tied in a large ribbon under her dainty chin, and a boy in raggedy clothing, grazed knees, obligatory smudge of dirt on the nose, and with his unsavoury wares tumbling from his torn pockets. I liked the poem. I could remember it. And being a girl, who along with my 2 younger brothers made up our family of 5, it felt quite nice to be elevated in this way. Who wanted to be snails when you could be sugar?